Greetings, Outlanders. It is I, Pixelbane, bringing you another Dominions 4 AI battles. Today we have the second match in the second round of the upper bracket. We will have the underdog of Pelagia versus one of my favorites to win this, Asphodel.
And that's enough of my Dunmer voice. I just felt like doing it. You know, I gotta live up that autism every now and then. But anyway, if you're not unfamiliar with the series, this is a series where we pit an AI pretender god against another AI pretender god and see who comes out on top. And then they will move forward if they're successful in this tournament. And this is the second round of the upper bracket. And yeah, this is the second match. The previous match is probably definitely on YouTube. And at least probably, hopefully, it's on YouTube now. It was the Kingdom of Man versus the Kingdom of Bandar Log, which got a free buy. But as you can see, it looks like I am partnered with the Kingdom of Pelagia, which got a real easy win out of the first round, and we are versing Asphodel. Asphodel is a pretty cool nation. If you haven't played Dominions 4, I recommend playing either Asphodel or Kingdom of Airmore, because they're pretty noob friendly because they're really overpowered, I think. But they're really cool. Like the Kingdom of Asphodel is a kingdom where the undead are reanimated as vinemen or mannequins, and you can get some cool things like undead vine bears, elephants, minotaurs. But it's not just wholly undead units. You can actually recruit normal units. And at least we have Pelagia here making an actual move, so hopefully, I think this map generation is better for them. Being an underwater nation lowers, I think, their chance to win this overall against the land-based nation, because just the way how map generation works for them. But all of these water provinces are indeed tied to one another, and they should be able to get a decent foothold. And what they could definitely do here is start putting cathedrals in the water, and it's very unlikely that the Asphodelian forces will go underwater. Though I think mannequins are indeed poor amphibians, so they could do it. Most undead are. Let's look at the stats for these gods if you're unfamiliar. So here we have the Kingdom of Pelagia, the one that I am disciple to. This is their god Neris. That's a shark rider merman. That's pretty cool. Anyway, this is Neris. You can see he's got the average Dominion of 5. He's just pretty average, I have to say. Like, the only negative stats that he has to his Dominion is that luck. And I guess that counterbalances with his ability to research. And it looks like they were able to take the province, and I hope they continue to move up that way. Other than that, we're not going to get any battles. Here we go. And let's change the song here, because I'm not feeling it. Anyway, they're actually fielding Neris here, so we could actually just look at his stats there. So what we'll do is we'll open up Lyduk stats while we look at Neris' stats. But as you can see, he's got 1 astral magic, which isn't going to actually give his sacred units any additional bonuses. However, he does have 9 water magic, which will give his sacred units quickness, which is actually pretty good. And he's got Inspiring Researcher, which helps out research if he is also researching in a province, and he's getting additional bonuses for research. So he's a very magic-oriented god. Hence the plus into magic research, essentially. As for Lyduk, oh no, Neris is gonna die. Oh god, please no. Get out of here, Neris. He's dead. Oh, he made it out. Whew. That was a really weird assault by the Kingdom of Pelagia there. They clearly were a little overzealous. At least they didn't lose their god, so there's that. As for Asphodel, we have Lyduk here. As you can see, his actual in-game model is a little bit different than the one that I'm using. I'm using the sprite of a normal Lich because I think that just looks cooler than the Demi-Lich pile of like ash here. But he has one of the largest dominions, the largest that you can get of 10. I think he's only tied with one other faction that has a dominion growth of 10. He's got 6 undead magic or necromancy, which allows his units that are sacred to get the undying bonus, so that's pretty cool. The Kingdom of Asphodel is a little bit different than the Kingdom of Airmore. Airmore can just put all their points into the negatives because anything that's negative pretty much just helps them out in the end, of allowing them to get more and more undead units. As for Asphodel, they have to get magic and growth. These two stats actually help out with getting Vinemen. The growth increases the number of Vinemen they can get, but the Vinemen that can come get per turn, but the Vinemen only can come from corpses, so that's why the Turmoil needs to be there at 3. The production allows them to counteract some of these negatives as well, because like they have normal units they have to buy as well, so they need the 3 production there. The 3 unluck is a stat that doesn't really come into play. I mean, it's bad for them, but it doesn't actually benefit them. But the 3 magic actually does. The higher your magic in your domain as Asphodel, it increases the chance of higher level Vinemen to be summoned, and Pelagia is just not doing it right now. This is exactly what I was worried about. But those are the stats. If I had to pick a favorite, I already said that I'm picking Asphodel here. I don't see any reason why they don't win. They have the entire land continent to themselves. And Pelagia is starting to potato quite hard, and we're seeing some Asphodelians here. And there's the capital of Asphodel, right here. So, I think Pelagia should definitely plop down a cathedral and a fort right here to start eating away at the dominion of Asphodel, or at least countering some of their growth. They clearly want to get these water provinces, but at this point, they do not have the units to do that. And it looks like Asphodel might be moving into some of these territories. It looks like they're not having a very good start either. So if both are potatoing, then I guess it's all right. Oh my gosh, it looks like the neutrals are already attacking my province. But I think it should be all right. The domain of my discipled god of Pelagia doesn't have a lot of unrest in it. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of bonuses to it either. So I should be able to resupply, just automatically resupply the amount of militia defense that I have in my province. So I should be able to hold against pretty much most everything that independents throw at me, barring if it's like a huge night assault, of course. Hey, they were able to do it. That's a good sign. They need to keep pushing. I would definitely say that any of the underwater nations in this tournament are the underdogs, maybe with the exception of Relay. I don't think Middle Ages Relay is the strongest version of Relay, but Relay's pretty strong because they have the access to the Mind Blast Mind Flayers. Mind Blast has like the range of the entire map. It's an instantaneous guaranteed hit on a unit, so there's no like mischance to my knowledge. It does magic damage, so it can kill undead and magical beings. It goes through armor because of that, and it has a chance to paralyze. And a lot of their units of Relay, like the Mind Flayers, have the access to the Mind Blast. So if the AI abuses that, I'm pretty sure Relay can take out, 100% can take out any of the water nations. I hope I don't eat my words, but I think they have a chance against land nations, more so than the other underwaters. And if you were looking at the tournament bracket, which you can if you just look below the stream right now, it's under, I think, bracket. It will say Dominions for AI Battle bracket. You can it'll load up a Google Doc or Google PowerPoint doc, and it'll show you the current bracket. And actually, Atlantis is going to be fighting Relay in the lower bracket, which is actually kind of cool. Is Pelagia the assaulting ones here? It is. Okay, I don't think they can take this. There's way too many. Like, whoa, they actually routed those mermen? These, I think, there's like the final tier. Wait, what? Oh, independence. Okay. So, because they're independents of Pelagia, they're called Pelagia. Okay. So this is the standard defense for Pelagia. So at least they were able to hold. That is always good to see. They only have one water territory left, but at this point, I almost called them Archocephaly because I'm playing it. It's not looking good. We have Asphodel already pushing down to my province, and the rules, I will probably say them in every match so that newcomers will understand. There's a set of bonuses that come with me being a disciple. This is the only way that I know how to do this. I don't think you can just like straight up spectate a match against 2 computers. So I have it set up that I disciple a god. They get the bonuses to the dominion that I spread out, but at the same time, I don't do any actions. And if my home territory is taken or my god is killed, they lose essentially. And medium AI, to my knowledge, doesn't really ever, if ever, come to your aid. So if I'm assaulted by Asphodel here, it could just be the end of Pelagia. Which I don't think anyone will be too upset about, seeing as how Pelagia basically got a cheat win because I decided to give them a bone and destroy my fortress, and then the next turn, Independence killed my god, or my disciple rather. Look at these hoplites. It looks like the Independents are going to be unsuccessful in assaulting me once again. I think the hoplites are probably like equal to the shield bearers of Ulm. Maybe they're better, maybe they're a little bit worse. But whenever you have a faction that has a default militia force of shield bearers with archers behind them, it's always good to see. It allows me, at least in this game mode, it's good for Pelagia here, because I get a random faction for this disciplehood as well. So it's good to see that I will be able to just naturally defend. It's not a good sign for Asphodel, because they can't rely on the Independents to siege my fortress as easily. This is a weird attack. I don't know why they decided to take this attack. Yep. Underwater nations, I think they get like too desperate and they start making very bad calls to assault the land. We're starting to see a lot of horsemen attacking Arcocephalae, which is my home territory. And as you can see, as I was talking a little bit ago about the basically asymmetrical nature of this, you can see by the odds that the person, or the god rather, that has me discipled to them gets a slight bonus to their odds to win. If you check out the Dominions for odds section underneath the video, you can check out the myriad of spreadsheets that I've made for this. They get a plus 10 to their total odds of winning. But underwater nations themselves don't get the plus 15 that all of their land nations get. I thought that would probably replicate the whole underwater nations are definitely the disadvantage thing without straight up just negativing things from underwater nations. Because we could get to a point where there's an underwater nation with 0 wins, and then they lose whatever points they've gained from wins in the past or tournament wins in the past, and they start getting into negatives. That wouldn't be a very good fraction to set up, you know? It wouldn't be very efficient or, like, I don't know, intelligent to have it set up like that. But this looks like a good assault. Finally, we have a large force assaulting here. I don't really know how strong Pelagia is, if I'm going to be completely honest. I don't really play Underwater Nations, and I don't think a lot of people who do play Dominions play Underwater Nations. The only caveat that I have to say is that I like playing Relay. I've always been a fan of Lovecraft's work. I have all of, like, I got a compendium of, like, most, if not all of his works. I really do love Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. I think I'm gonna be hipster here. I feel like the Call of Cthulhu is a little overrated now. Because, okay. Never mind. I thought Pelagia was this assault, but it looks like Pelagia was defending. So that's good. But anyway, I like Relay as a nation because of, I don't know, it's not exactly Lovecraftian, but you can go through way portals to call unknown beings from another realm. It's like you can get like old gods and stuff like that. It's really cool. So we have a death match next turn. Well, I don't know who I would bet on in this death match. Let me take a second to think. What is Arcocephalae gonna send? I think they're gonna send a Vine Centaur. What is a Centaur? Vine Centaur. That is basically their like sacred priest. And if I was gonna guess what Pelagia will send, I have no idea because I don't know what their units are. I would say some merman, maybe on a shark. I don't know if you can even do that, but let's see. No shark merman. And it's just a normal centaur. But it is a priest. Oh. What? He just cast Sleep Touch like 7 times in a row. I mean, it routed him. What the fuck was that? Oh, man. Well, he did it, though. That's a good move for Archocephalae, but as you can see, the map is turning into a vined mess. Archocephalae is going everywhere it can. Though its Dominion isn't that out of control. I mean, I guess it kinda is. But look at the Dominion of Pelagia here. It's actually pushing out incredibly far. And they only have like these 2 churches. Obviously, I'm contributing to this to some degree, but they don't have a whole lot of cathedrals. So maybe Pelagia will be able to win in the cheeky way of just building cathedrals in every province they have. And that is the advantage I think that underwater nations have. As I stated in an earlier battle, maybe it was the Pelagia one. Not a lot of nations have access to the water, and the AI on medium typically doesn't get a whole lot of amphibious units. Eventually, maybe they will, if they have a bunch of extra gold lying around. But typically they don't, and as such, underwater nations can literally just put chapels in every one of their provinces, and they don't even need to put forts. And the AI typically doesn't put any like actual defenses into those positions anyway. So like, if an AI assaulted one of these underwater provinces, it would be instantly taken. But they can actually play that fast and loose way of not defending the provinces because of look at these barbarians just wrecking Pelagia here. Man, it's bad. It's like they just had a landhold and they lost it. Like they keep going here and losing this province every time they take it. But yeah, they could just put churches here in all of these territories and they probably won't ever be touched. I'm pretty sure Vinemen are aquatic. We have to, or poor amphibians rather. We have to check once Asphodel actually makes an assault against Pelagia, or Pelagia takes an assault against Asphodel. I think they have this. The merfolk here, they have this human form when they're on land. And they're like, I'd say they're about as fast as like zombies, which is to say they're not very fast at all because they're not very good at land movement. But they were able to take it. What province was that? Okay, so they're making an assault on land in this direction. So we have a very large force of mannequins here. But it doesn't seem like Asphodel has a whole lot of forces. It seems like they have like this really large force, this somewhat large force, and then these 2 lesser forces. All right, so we have our first conflict between Asphodel and Pelagia. Asphodel is being the aggressor here. And it's got a Harpy commander? Is that what this is? Yeah, they have a Harpy commander. This is their spy unit. What? Oh my god. Sometimes I just wonder, like, what the hell is the AI thinking? Why are they taking this? Now, it could have been that they were spotted, like they were sneaking in the province and they were spotted by this large unit force of Pelagia. But like, you know, I don't doubt the possibility of them just saying, you know what, I can make this attack, because I've seen non-sneaking commanders take ridiculous fights for no reason. But I have a feeling, since that was indeed a Harpy, I have a feeling that that was a spy attempt, and that didn't allow us to see if the mannequins and Vinemen were able to go underwater. It looks like there will be an assault here, and I don't see any Vinemen here, so that's disappointing. This territory will be lost, or this territory will be lost. They might even lose both if Asphodel splits their forces here. This is a relatively large force that I'm assuming they're going to try to move out here. A bunch of Shark Knights, and I think they're building a temple. What is a tapple? What is a tapple? Ugh, this heat is melting my brain. They're actually being on the defensive here. It's interesting. With a large force at their borders, they're deciding to push into another province. And still, we don't have Vinemen to see. This is the standard amount of like units that an AI will put on defense. They typically don't like spending their gold on more than like 10 or 12. The highest I've seen it is like 14 units on defense is what they put it at. And you can get defense of a province up to 100. It gets incredibly expensive. Every point you put into a defense, you have to pay that amount of units. So first it's 1 gold, and then it's an additional 2 gold for the next one, and then 3 gold, and then 4 gold, and then 5 gold. It just gets out of hand real quick. All right, this is a lot of battles Pelagia is taking. And there isn't a lot of counterattacks either. These are all unique provinces, and I guess I dispatched a sneaking person. All right, rituals are cheaper. Do we have any Vinemen? No. What is Asphodel doing? Like we're like this is a win for Asphodel though. We're gonna hear the charge. No, we're not gonna hear the trample effect of the Minotaurs because the battle was already over by the time they got there. Decent force versus decent force. This is actually, I'd say, quite even. There's like tier 2 or tier 3 mermen here, though, so I think actually the mermen have it. There's a lot of just like trash militiamen. But you never know when a group of people might just break. They might break really easily. All right, next battle. So that's 1 province to Pelagia and 1 province to Asphodel. They basically are delta zeros at this point. Pelagia can fuck up the rest of these and still come out neutral, but it looks like they're attacking provinces that Asphodel has completely forgotten about. What a ride it would be if Pelagia wins this. They would be like showing me up to the next level. Like, as I said, I'm not gonna be giving them any more. Oh, they routed them. I was just about to speak their praises. I'm not gonna give them another handicap. They got their 1 handicap. That's it. They're not getting another one. So this is the exact battle we just watched. I clicked the wrong one. Is this the same one? No, it's not. Okay. But it'd be quite interesting to see them make it through this and beat Asphodel out. Like, oh, hold up. We gotta check. Are they? They are amphibians, so Pelagia's benefit for having these underwater provinces is actually not a guarantee. These undead mannequins that you see here, and they have an elephant. Oh, that's bad news for Pelagia. Elephants in this game are really broken. Anything with trample is incredibly strong, but trample scales with size differential. So like normal man size versus like a super large animal like the elephant, it does so much bonus damage and just like crushes units instantaneously. So it looks like maybe they got 2 provinces. So they went Delta 1. I mean, that's assuming that they win this. And I think they will because they have these sea dogs. Yeah, the sea dogs tanked long enough for the normal infantry to make it there. And we don't need to watch that event because it's successful. All right. And it looks like they are indeed going into the water. That's probably a relatively large Vineman force that went there. Is it still cheaper? Yeah, construction rituals are cheaper, right? I don't think, I don't know, never mind. Both of them have magic in their domain, so they could definitely be researching things. So they could be able to get some magical items and artifacts through construction if they're going down that path. Unfortunately, we can't see what they're researching and what level of research they're at. It's kind of disappointing. It's pretty straightforward. It seems like they're like amassing a large group of infantry. Both sides are doing this, and they're attacking the really weak provinces that obviously don't have the massive infantry. Because like these forces that are attacking, they're just attacking like the really weak provinces, and we're not getting a whole lot of like large battle conflicts. I'm not surprised though, because Pelagia is struggling to get territories. Which is not surprising at all. And if they lose this territory to neutrals, that would be awful. Like, they keep losing their foothold. It looks like they probably are indeed going to lose this territory. What are those guys shooting at? They're technically skirmishers, so they won't break immediately if they're put into melee, but I don't think. Yeah. Oh, whoa! They did it. Okay. So the mage saved the team. Mage saved the team. They broke the melee. The meleeers came in, ruined some of the morale of the skirmishers / archers dudes. And it was just enough for the mage can continue to bombard to get them to break at the very end. It's also possible that they ran out of ammo, so that would have ruined their morale as well. We're not seeing like the bread and butter of Asphodel here. It's like we're watching the Pangea game all over again. Like we only saw one battle with the Vineman here, which kind of makes me sad. I like seeing my Vineman as Asphodel. Oh, I was concerned for a second. I thought the centaurs were going in. Those damn harpies, like they need to stop building them. It's just ruining their morale, Asphodel. Stop doing it. And I think they're gonna definitely rout them. If they spent their money on something else other than, it's still cheaper. That's crazy. If they spent their money on something other than just those harpies, sure they're cheap, but like they would be more cost efficient. It just blows my mind that the AI continues to build these like really bad flying units that are incredibly weak. Like they don't really, they sure they can tie up enemy archers, but like most archers in this game have like some form of skirmishing, so like they have some form of like one-handed weapon, like daggers, and those daggers will kill the fucking harpies, because most time you have like a large force of archers. Like maybe those harpies would have been able to take out this group of archers, but there's a commander right here that would probably kill like 2 or 3 a turn. So that was probably the terrible choice. But Pelagia is going in on the water territory. This is their home, so a lot of their units can't go on land. So like they should be able to hold water territories. That is their homeland. They should be able to handle it. And why do they only have like one ichthyid? Those are the fish people. I feel like they should have more than that. If they have any hopes of taking the land, because they are indeed, I think they are amphibians, right? Yeah, they're full-blooded amphibians. So like they're the most efficient unit in this entire thing. They're not poor amphibians, so that means they're just as effective in water as they are in land, and they're actually quite strong. The ichthyid warriors are top-notch. Like I never bought them before because I really don't buy neutrals unless absolutely necessary. But damn, I've been watching them throughout this tournament, and I've been seeing how strong those ichthyid warriors can be in the right hands. What the fuck? Pegasus Rider. Is this like a? I feel like this Pegasus Rider is a part of a mercenary group. We have to check that out. All right. So that was an assault against Pelagia. I'm already losing track of what we watched. Okay, so we watched all of the rounds that turn. All right, let's look at mercenaries. They are indeed a mercenary unit. And let's look at score graphs because it's kind of hard to see how the nations hit the wrong button, how the nations are doing in terms of Dominion. And I was about to say, yeah, it looks like Pelagia actually does indeed have more Dominion because they have those churches. So it's basically churches versus raw territories here. And we have the 100, 200, I already missed this count, 100, 200, 300. This is the 400 line, this is the 450. So this is the line right here. I should have it memorized. Like slightly above is the line that is the victory line. They're about 150 away from possibly winning. Pelagia is slightly in the lead of Dominion, but I don't think they are any. Their army size is probably, let's say, a third maybe of Asphodel. And they have probably half the number of territories Asphodel has. Though if they hold these centaurs, no, they won't be able to do it because the centaurs have berserker on them, so they won't break them. Yeah, Asphodel has this. Pelagia, I want to root for you, man. You're the underdog in my book. The definite underdog in this upper bracket. That you made it this far. The second round is a miracle. That you're gonna get stomped by Airyu, I believe is what you fought. You fought against Airyu. You were gonna get stomped by them. Or was it Celeria? I can't even remember. It's all blended together. But we have the Necromancer unit for the mercenaries, which is incredibly strong. Though there is banishment being cast. But is it too late? I think it is too late. Despite having this is what I was talking about. If Aramor will only lose, Aramor and Asphodel will really only lose against banishment users. Aramor more so than Asphodel because Asphodel has actual normal units. But if you just get a few priests on your team, you can effectively just wipe out this entire force. We got 2 Shark Knights here. That's definitely not enough, but Shark Knights I think are pretty good. Puppet Mastery being cast. If they lose this elephant, that's gonna be more of a loss than like winning this territory or losing this. Like Pelagia sure is gonna lose the province here, 100%. There was just too many forces here. But if they were to lose this elephant, that would not be that wouldn't be a worthy assault. Elephants are incredibly rare to get through the reanimation of Asphodel, and they are really strong. So you don't want to be just wasting them. Pelagia is trying to get this province back. Necromancer doesn't have like any units left, but he does have the raised dead and animate skeletons and raised skeletons. And I think it might be enough because I think he's out of magic gems now. And nope, never mind. He's just gonna spend more, despite the battle being already over. Asphodel is going on the offensive. This is like right next to my home territory. And I don't think they can hold. I don't think Pelagia holds this at all, but you never know. Like the main ad over here is the I think it's called Black Dryads for Asphodel. Yeah. But if they somehow killed that, they would have been able to hold that. And the turmoil is causing some of these provinces to flip really quickly. I feel like this should be building a fortress here, because it looks like this is the main Vineman. Or never mind, actually, I keep forgetting that the world continues on ad infinitum. So like they should definitely build a fortress here. This is a huge force, and sure the AI will be like not tedious, but will be a little bit cautious to send out the entire force. They could send out like 100 and then be able to completely crush Pelagia here. So I feel Asphodel is potatoing, I would say, a little bit too hard. They could easily win this match, and they very well might still win the match. However, I feel like they're giving too much room to Pelagia, where Pelagia can come out and somehow like pull out a miraculous victory, because they already have more dominion than Asphodel, just due to the number of the number of churches they have. And since they're pushing out here, like they could build a church here, and a fort here, and then a church, and then a church, and then a fort, and a fort, and a church, and with that they'll win. Like they don't need these other provinces. And it looks like Asphodel is refusing to go into the water. They did indeed split up their forces. I don't know why they went up north. I mean, I guess they could move this way to reinforce, but they could have just pushed in here. They just need to be more confident with what they have, because they severely outnumber the forces of Pelagia. And it's not just, they don't just outnumber the forces of Pelagia. They strength the forces of Pelagia. Like, it's insane. This is why I was saying that Asphodel, to a lesser extent, but more so Aramor, are definitely probably the more broken of the nations, simply because they benefit so much from negative aspects of the Dominion that they can use that to boost their own Dominion. Like Asphodel, I think, does indeed have a Dominion growth of 10 on Lyduk, or Lyduk, or whatever his name might be pronounced. So that is pretty good Dominion growth around their capital just for just having their god out. This is not a good sign for Pelagia, though maybe it might be. It all depends on if the commander here actually engages. And he's refusing to engage. I think this is like a race to see who gets routed first. And it looks like Pelagia is the first to rout. And the commander's dead. Yep. But that was really close. It was very close. The main force of Asphodel there was just breaking. Goddamn wolves. I hate seeing wolves. It looks like Pelagia has bought the Pegasus Rider Amazon unit. I mean, they did have enough wolves to push through, but like they already lost like 80% of their wolves. Like at what cost? Like they're not cost efficient just to throw in there and basically throw the encounter. Like just designed to kill off your own morale of your other units. They die immediately. I mean, to be fair, they weren't going to be taking that territory anyway, so. Actually 0 domain growth here. That's interesting. Let's look at the score graphs once again, so I'm actually interested to see. They're actually like flatlining and somewhat having some negative slope here, though Asphodel's losing a lot out of nowhere. And Asphodel does indeed have like 4 or 5 times the number of units. So even if those units were like half as strong, they would still have way more forces to field. Research, I'm surprised that Pelagia doesn't have more research, seeing as how their god is centered around research. And obviously this is what we were expecting to see with the loss of income from Asphodel, because it gets to the point where you start just losing income. Your provinces start turning over to your own, and Asphodel has the issue with income in that regard. But let us continue. You never know what the AI is going to do. You never know if they'll just throw away all their units. I'm actually not sure who wins this. I really don't know how strong Amazons are, and it looks like they're actual like full-on skirmishers. Actually, I don't know. Like Dagger doesn't really seem like they should be moving up like this. They do have short bows. Oh no, they're not designed for this. They're not designed for this, Pelagia. Oh man. I'm sighing here because there was other mercenary units. We're gonna look at the rest of the things, but I'm curious. There was the Iron Men and the Black Fist that could have been hired, other than the Amazon unit. The Amazon unit sure is probably really good to bolster your own units as like a backline or midline archer unit. But surely they're not designed for a full-on assault just by themselves. And this is a pretty much guaranteed win by Asphodel. I wonder how many times I accidentally called them Pangea. I feel like I've called them the wrong name at least a couple of times, because they're essentially the same faction. That is a lot of Shamblers, and those Shamblers have armor. But it's no match for the amount of mermen here. And they actually have a bunch of Ichthyeids. That's what I like to see. They keep buying the Ichthyeids. They're like full-on amphibians. So that's one good battle Oh, whoa. I don't think they can take this unless that army left. Yeah, there's no way. What the fuck? I don't know. Maybe I'm undervaluing the underwater cavalry units. I mean, they are really strong, and they are full on. They're just aquatic, right? Yeah, so they're buffed up underwater compared to other units because they can't go on land. And that's how it's balanced out. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe actually this is like really good for them. The underwater domain should be Pelagia's. And that elephant was immediately destroyed. Maybe I can see why Asphodel was a little bit cautious about entering the water. The Shark Knights were surprisingly weak compared to these just... I'm assuming that these units, whatever they're called, we can look at next time, probably cost holy points and the Shark units don't. Or maybe the Shark units cost holy points. If that's the case, that's ridiculous. Mainly because those like main cavalry units seem exponentially stronger than the Shark Riders. Alright, we got 2 casters. We don't need to watch this. It's not gonna be a fun battle depending on, it looks like Pelagia will win it, but if they don't, then it's not really that interesting. I want to see if they lose this because of the Harpies. Or they win it because of the Harpies because they only had archers. They only had Lion Tribe archers. The Harpies did good work. I'll be the first to admit when I see good work by those Harpies. Those Harpies prevented normal units from taking damage. What is with these like attrition forces? They're not. We can just look at the map to see what happens here. These battles are incredibly small. Here we go against a completely undefended province. But we got like a bunch of like magical summon units. Yeah, we got Leogryphs here. Very cool unit choice. Fucking Harpies. I'm gonna bitch about Harpies and bitch about flying units till the day I die. At the very least, Pangea hasn't been cut off from their supply lines because they have both areas here, so the loss of this territory isn't that bad for them. As well as the loss of this territory doesn't really matter because they still have lines here. But I'm seeing this domain here, this dominion pushing in. Wait, what? I guess we didn't watch that battle. What is this place? The Monster Depths. Let's look at the Monster Depths. Yeah, because we did skip that one. I thought we skipped something. So I guess they weren't able to hold. I'm not surprised. Jesus, I don't know what the AI does. They pulled back after they took the territory instead of creating a strong offensive line there. And look, they attacked the Monster Depths again. Maybe they're baiting. Maybe they're just they're putting no one there so that they can counterattack it and kill the units off. Maybe the AI is just smarter than me. You know, it's very possible. I struggle speaking English, so it's my native tongue. I struggle speaking it, so maybe it's not a big jump to assume that the AI is just smarter than me. It's a pretty one-sided battle. Most of these battles have been just completely one-sided. I blame the production of normal units of Asphodel for not having a whole lot of just normal infantry, regular infantry. And I blame the fact that Pelagia is basically, I don't know, building a bunch of underwater units that they can't use on the mainland. So what are these guys called? Knight of the Deeps. They are sacred, so they do get, if they're blessed, they do get that quickness, which actually helps out a lot. And they are classified as alicorns. So they do get the alicorn bonus, kind of like the Knights of Avalon, the things that are called Chalice Knights from the Kingdom of Man. So yeah, these guys are probably cost holy points. Pretty cool. Though the bait didn't really work out because they retreated immediately out of the province. So if that was the plan of Pelagia, it didn't really work out in their favor. It's the Leogryph force. Oh my gosh. They keep buying these really, really shit, trash neutrals when they could be buying Ichthyids. Now, sure, obviously you want to be maximizing the number of resources you're spending per turn. Resources are tied to the province themselves, excuse me, while gold is a national resource. So if you can be spending resources in a province to get more units, you typically want to be doing that. If you've already have like all resources in your like main provinces being spent and using as much gold as you can to get the highest tier units. But at the same time, there's no way that Pelagia is at that point. So they should be just getting Ichthyids rather than just the trash units they're getting. Like, this is just a normal defensive unit set from Asphodel. But that last battle that we saw that Asphodel took against Pelagia, there was way more units than a normal militia that the AI would field. So that was entirely of their own, like, buying. I guess that the Armored Merman stands 0 chance against Knights. That was a bad assault. You would assume that the AI knows, like, the general strength of their own units. I don't know why they decided to take that fight. And this back to the Leogryph force? Is it windy out? I'm hearing noises. I don't know. Spooky noises. And it's weird if it is indeed windy out. It's like still like 100 and some degrees out, and it's 9 at night. So that's weird. We got, even with wind chill, it's super freaking hot outside. That battle I don't think surprised anyone. It was pretty one-sided. These really lame battles, man. And again, the monster depths. This is the point of autistic focus for both factions here. They really love the monster depths. They just keep going back and forth and back and forth. And I wish I knew exactly what Puppet Mastery does. It feels like it's like the undead strength that Aramor has or other undead factions have. But I wish it told you exactly what it buffs. It probably buffs speed of some sort. Like, look at these forces. Asphodel could crush all hope of Pelagia at any moment, but they just like are refusing to do so. Not what I wanted to hit. We wanted to look at the score graphs for Dominion. Looks like Asphodel is pushing the Dominion out, which is a good sign for Asphodelian fans. It might be cool to see Asphodel versus Aramor, but I think Aramor might pull out on top in that case. But let us continue on. This is an incredibly wide open map too, so this is what's causing all of these micro skirmishes with really small forces on both sides. It's just everyone's got like 6 or 7 different directions they can go at any moment. So you can spread their forces incredibly thin. There's not a whole lot of bottlenecks. Like, the only bottleneck there seems to be is into the water area of the monster depths. Despite it not really being a bottleneck, it just seems that the AI is treating it that way because they keep going back and forth. And no surprise, we're back in the monster depths. What the factions are doing is that they're taking the monster depths and then leaving it. And then the next turn, the other faction's gonna come back into the monster depths and take it. So it's like a war of attrition against the neutral, or not neutrals, but like the defending militia. Like, whoever has the more surviving units at the end of this entire ad infinitum chain against the militiamen, I guess, will eventually keep the province. I think this is a group, yes. I think this is a mercenary group that Pelagia has hired. Though this is a very bad position for their commander to be in. Oh! Oh, God! Rip the mercenaries. This is why you have the AI set for commanders to stay behind their infantry. Make sure you always want them to get right up in the fray so that they get those points of experience. But remember, if they die, all forces attached to them break. And if you have other forces on the field, they take morale penalties whenever allied troops break. So it's not a good thing to have. I'm pretty sure that was gonna be a win by Pelagia, but they lost it due to the over-aggressiveness of their AI mercenary captain. And Asphodel is actually pushing into Pelagia here. This is the second water territory they're attempting to take. If Asphodel takes this territory, that is one less church Pelagia has. And it looks like they are going to indeed take the province. Or not, man. He's just going ham. Holy shit. What the fuck? He just going like a crazy dude. Crazy with them damn banishments. Alright. So they actually held the province, but there isn't... What? I thought they had a church here. They must have lost that territory at some point. And a church here. Very strange what's happening to the churches on the field. Oh, we got our second death match. We're gonna see who's gonna be put up in that. Hopefully, sneaking enemy. Hopefully, the commander from the last round with the champion Curus, the winner from Asphodel, is still alive. He might be dead already. But that champion Curus is actually quite strong. And the harpies are gonna break. Now. Yep. Come on, Pelagia, man. Come on. Underdog gotta win. I love Asphodel to death, but come on, they gotta do it. They stand 0 chance against Airmore. 0 chance. But I want to see him win this fight. Want to see the underdog win. No, they aren't winning this fight. We don't even need to watch. There's no way they win that. All right, the arena match. It's not the same one, so I'm assuming he died, or they didn't equip it. 20 they're gonna run away. Yeah, or just straight up die. Well, that 2 times in a row, Asphodel's won the tournament. +1 cold unrest increase. That's pretty much only it really affects Pelagia here. Asphodel, I guess it does affect them. It gives them the negative cold on their provinces, but the unrest really hurts Pelagia. And then it looks like they are definitely moving in. The benefits of having undead units. Poor amphibians are still amphibians. And when you're making these units essentially for free, the longer the game goes, the more of the advantage. Oh shit, they have a Wraith Lord. Or like a Bane or something. They do, it's a Bane. Oh, sick, dude. I love Wraith Lords and Banes. They're like really cool undead units. The placement of that elephant lacks something to be desired. That elephant is never making it to the front. There's just too much trash in the way. Damn whip sound. We're gonna hear the elephant trample through this. We're not gonna get the trumpeting noise of the elephant because it's undead, which is kind of disappointing. But I guess there's a plus to that. If some reason Asphodel amasses like 6 or 7 elephants, we're not gonna get the ear rape that is elephants attacking all at the same time. I'm sure if you've watched any of these previous ones, you've heard what happens when sound files in this game start overlapping. It gets incredibly loud, incredibly fast. And you guys have a lower down audio from the game as well. Look at all that regeneration at the end for no reason. Asphodel has almost taken the entirety of the continent. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if medium AI will ever assault my fortress. Despite only having 20 defense and the starting amount of units, which is like these guys right here, this 30 group of units, I've never seen them attack it. And sure, like making an attack with these 30 units would be suicide, but we've seen larger forces on my border. I'm only saying this because I kind of want Asphodel just to kill me.
to end this quicker so we can move on to more interesting matches.
I don't know, maybe you guys are thinking this is interesting. Whoa, we got a sea serpent. We got a sea serpent. That's real cool. I wonder how they got it. I wonder if they used magic to get it, or if they got it through an event. Wait, what the fuck? That is a lot of sea serpents. Why is one up here, though? That's crazy. So the elephant, I think, only killed one of those, what did they call them? Knights of the Deep? Knights of the Deeps. It only killed one, but it pushed a couple out of the way. This is one hell of a force. I'm gonna click on sea serpents again. They're only aquatic. See, that's the main issue. Like, they're pretty strong. Same thing with these guys. Not so much with these, but this is the force that I was talking about. This is the underwater force that should be in every one of these underwater provinces. But, unfortunately, Pelagia has been falling behind for maybe, how much year is it? Maybe for like a year and a half in-game time, maybe longer. And as such, they can't afford the defensive units that they need. The fuck is this? Is this this has to be another mercenary group. He's got enlarged though. Though it doesn't really do a whole lot, I guess, for boars. It's like only like one size. They make some about human size, but they don't do enough damage. It's very, why make that attack? Blows my mind sometimes, these attacks. They're attacking the Unforgiver again. Or is this the one we just watched? No, it's not. Okay. So the main force of sea serpents and whatnot is no longer here. They have another elephant, which is good to see. Elephant, yeah. Once the elephant starts crushing things, that's when morale breaks faster than a egg dropped on concrete. I don't know what kind of analogy that is, but that's what my analogy, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, because they moved their forces up to take the province up here. They're effectively trading provinces. If they lose this would be a terrible blow to Pelagia, almost completely sealing their fate, because this is an entirely one-sided fight. But I'm looking for commanders here, and the commanders are indeed staying in the back, so. What's up, Zalera? Hopefully I'm saying your name right. I'm glad you're liking him. I'm putting a whole lot of effort into this series. I'm trying to get better at the commentating aspect, but I think it's got potential. I think it really does have a lot of potential. I was making all these spreadsheets and stuff, and I don't know, making these pivot tables of stats that just seemed really, really cool. Just to have all this like raw data. But I'm glad you like digging it, man. I set the AI on medium for these first rounds because I don't know. I think it offers the greatest chance of potatoing here. Cause like I don't want like really strong factions such as Aramor or to some extent Asphodel or Marignan just to like completely be guaranteed a victory. So I don't know. I just want it to have like the chance of the AI just making really bad calls is essentially all I want. Maybe on later seasons I'll up the difficulty. Or up the difficulty of factions that are losing to like as a sort of a handicap or whatever. Maybe underwater nations get a higher difficulty. But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying making these. They routed the independents. Thank goodness, Pelagia. Thank goodness. All right. But I think it's too little too late. Still, they do have a lot of dominion still left on the land provinces here. But it looks like Asphodel is indeed on the move. They have a rather large force of mannequins that I'm going to assume they're going to start pushing back into the water with, and they have this large force here. The sea serpents will indeed be counterattacking the Unforgiver once again. But I feel like Asphodel will either just move out of the water, so it'll be a guaranteed province for Pelagia, or they'll just move down and take this chapel out. There was a large battle. There's plenty of battles. Oh my goodness. It looks like there's a battle on my province, but we're under siege, but I doubt the AI, not the AI, but the independents would be able to take it. I haven't seen them take my fortress yet. We have a very large battle. This is very nice to see. Finally, we have a large force against a large force. Bunch of sea serpents, bunch of shark riders. I'm gonna give it to Pelagia here. These like alicorn sea knights are just really strong. I think despite even having like one bear, one elephant, and one minotaur, that's just not enough to hold this. And it indeed is not enough. But this is the strongest force that Pelagia has, and half the units in it, they cannot move onto the land provinces. So it's really not a good position to be in for Pelagia here. And their units are breaking here. Though it's still gonna be a loss for Asphodel. I don't see how they pull this out. None of the cavalry units have really taken any damage for Pelagia. Alright, that was quite a freaking battle, to say the least. Holy crap. Small skirmish force. I don't think they're gonna make a successful assault here. The Minotaurs are gonna just crush through the front lines, yeah. Like, I have a hard time evaluating the strength of these gold armored Pelagian Triton dudes. Like, I want to value them higher. But as I said, I've never really played as them, so I don't know how strong they are. But they seem to be really weak. I think they're like the tier 2 melee or like infantry unit for Pelagia. And sure, I think they obviously have the slower move speed on land, but still. Also, we have like a Eldritch Horror thing that is attacking Pelagia. And what independent force is assaulting my main keep? We have like a special like story event one because we have like a Fire Lord. We very rarely see stuff like that. So like this is like a story assault on my my keep. They might actually be able to take my keep out because it's like a special like hero unit. And they have a bunch of undead units. Holy shit, that's a lot of undead. The neutrals might be doing Asphodel's work for them. Holy crap. They're obviously successful in this assault because my keep is under siege, but they might actually be able to attack my keep. This might be the end for Pelagia. Oh, I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little sad that if this is the end, our little underdog, our black horse underwater nation that made it to round 2 is gonna be kicked out. But they can't harm our walls yet. I don't know if they ever can indeed harm our walls, but we'll be under siege probably forever if they can't. Because there's no way I could break them with my forces, and I wouldn't risk it. Because that wouldn't be fair to Pelagia for me to risk an assault back. A very small assault. I don't know. Like, both sides don't really have anything going for them. That's very dangerous for Asphodel. Very dangerous. Who would I put my money on in this fight? I'm undervaluing these guys. I would say, despite these being just militiamen, I feel like this priest is just outright, I don't know, never mind, the archers are gonna do it. So, I was originally gonna say Asphodel has the advantage here, and since that's what I was originally gonna say, I'm gonna have to stick with it, but looking how the battle's moving forward, I feel that Pelagia has it. Like, they're losing units against, like, bog standard militia. They lost, like, 2 units to just militia. These are not as good as I thought they would be. Typically, when you see units that have the armor on them, like, it's only bronze, I guess, but still. When you see unit sprites that have armor on them, they're typically, like, tier 2 or tier 3 of that faction's infantry or whatever they may be. So they're typically a little bit better than that. But they were able to take it. I was wrong in my assumption. As I said, I think in the Marignan battle, that you should never really trust what I'm saying because I make bad calls or bad assumptions all the time. I think if you just did, like, took bets or whatever that is the opposite of what I predict, you would probably be right more often than you're wrong. But really, honestly, Asphodel could easily crush Pelagia at any moment if they just stop potatoing. They have so many forces fielded. I think they're just getting really mono-focused onto the water. Like, they just needed to focus on getting land territories, taking them away from Pelagia, and then just holding the front line on land. We can't even see how many units they have because Pelagia has been losing land territories to Independence and Asphodel back-to-back on turns. And it's happening again now in Unforgiver. I think they'd be able to hold the Unforgiver Independence, mainly because they probably do have the Sea Serpent still there. Unless they moved into Assault something. What Assault are... Oh, man. This had to be like a sneaking force. Like, why would you make this Assault? Also, this map is just, like, really crazy. Like, I can't move the camera. It's, like, super up in my face. But why would you make this Assault as Pelagia? Like, if Asphodel was making these types of assaults, maybe Pelagia would be able to come back, but they just making these desperate pleas of, it's like, let us win, please. Like, this is an incredibly bad assault on their part. Like, they have, what is it, like 6, 7, like 7 or 8 maybe Centaur archers that got like this engrow or enlarge effect on them. It really isn't looking good for Pelagia. We got some sea trolls. These sea trolls should win this fight easily. So the Independents are going to be taking the Unforgiven or whatever this place is called. Yeah, like that regeneration. I don't know if a faction's going to take this back from the sea trolls without investing a large force to it. Because trolls in this game and a lot of fantasy games do have regeneration, and the regeneration the trolls have in this game is pretty large. They get 6 per turn, essentially. It looks like supply lines have been cut for these 3 top water provinces, and the supply lines for these areas are still connected, though there's a lot of independence uprisings here. Neither faction has it. It's mainly because of the dominion of Asphodel having that turmoil attached to it. But I feel like this is going to be a very long, drawn-out game at this point. Both factions are refusing to go all in, and that is what's causing it to be long and drawn out. There was a point, though, that in the early game, I honestly thought Pelagia had a real good shot at winning. Just the amount of cathedrals and churches and whatnot they were putting down onto the underwater seafloor. They were spreading their domain far and wide. Their dominion, rather, far and wide. I don't know why I keep saying domain. I don't know, it's just so similar and they basically mean relatively the same thing. But, man, they lost their timing window. The thing with Aramor and Asphodel is that they just keep getting stronger, and it's like this boulder that you're pushing up this hill, but every like step you take, this boulder keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So like the longer as you're fighting in this war of attrition against Asphodel or Aramor more so than Asphodel, it just gets harder for you. So you have to push early, you have to push hard, you have to have priests with banish, or you just have to like straight up outnumber them. You have to prevent them from getting territories so they get less units per turn through their dominion. But Pelagia can't really do that easily. Half of their units are only aquatic, so they have to rely on poor amphibians of their mermen, which we've seen are not really good in combat. On land, at least. And then they have to rely on mercenaries, but they've been making really bad mercenary calls. And then they have, there's a Bane right here. This Bane could be killed and break these forces. But then they have to rely on independence, and they're getting really bad independent choices. They're not going for the Ichthyeids or whatever they're called, the fish people. Like, they have some now, but they weren't going for them in early game when they should have been getting them because they help both in underwater provinces as well as on land provinces. Like, they just gave up any lead that they had, and at this point, look at this. We have 320 units in the capital alone. We have 90 mannequin in this territory. We have unknown amounts in all of these territories. There's a very attrition force in the front lines here that probably will be taken out, honestly. So, I mean, that's a good thing. Worldwide event has occurred. Blood magic. Neither of these factions use blood magic, so that's pretty much useless as a worldwide event, and then still cheaper this month. Let's see. This has to be a mercenary unit. I think this is indeed a mercenary unit. So we got like golems for these claymen dudes. I don't know how to value these guys because I don't really see them, but it looks like they have some regeneration spell on them, or they just have native regeneration. Wow, they hit hard, or at least they're taking hits, and they're not dying. How much health do they have? That's a weakened one. I'm very confused. So one of them took 50 damage and still lived. Or like 29 damage. Or maybe they did 29 damage, because they are hitting like trucks. So yeah, I think maybe they only have 15 health. It's just that they hit like freaking Mack trucks. Okay, so I should definitely write down and let myself know that if I see this Clayman force in the Mercs, I should definitely go with them in my games. They're like the hobbits. I never really dabble with mercenaries in my games, and obviously that's probably not the best thing to do, because I'm not a very good player despite having many hours on this game. You can always learn more, but this Merc force is pretty good. Like, clearly just using it to assault this giant force of Vinemen, mannequins, militia. This is a suicide attack. But, oh man. Like, why would you make this call? Maybe they just didn't want Asphodel to get the golem troop. Oh wow, there's an elephant troop. I feel like someone should definitely pick up the elephant troop. Blue Water and Highwoods. They're going underwater. Maybe they're taking like 150 of their undead. No, they're not. They're taking the smaller group. But they have 2 elephants, but they're in the back, so very bad placement. Those elephants are never getting to the front line, and if they do, they might be already broken. But maybe, I don't know, this flanking unit of Knights of the Deep might actually be benefiting this elephant. Like, it actually got an attack out, though it died pretty much immediately. I think it killed maybe 1 or 2 Knights of the Deep. And that's the thing with Undead Nations. When you don't have to invest any resources into your units, either Asphodelian Vinemen or just every unit Airmore produces, then any damage you do to actual bot units of the enemy faction is just valued even higher. It's just, like, if you're causing actual financial damage to your opponent without investing really anything, because these units just come out in time. I mean, you're losing units, so you don't want to get into the mindset of, oh, I'm losing units, but that's fine because I'm causing damage to the opponent. You don't want to throw away your troops. But if you can kill some of their like holy units, like those Knights of the Deep, I'm assuming that they require holy points per turn because they're really strong and they're similar to the Knights of Avalon. So much, in so many ways. You can value that elephant's life at killing like 2 of those guys. That's insanely powerful. This is another very weird assault. I don't know what the AI is doing. It's getting really desperate. Oh, I didn't even see these troops to the north. Okay. It's still a very desperate move. But I thought they only had like this dude here and then like a couple guys there. But they were able to do it because they had more than I saw. So that's a good attack. Good attack on Pelagia. I wanna praise Pelagia whenever I can. And they have a Pegasus rider here. But they don't have the Amazon like troops, so I think maybe they summoned the Pegasus rider. Maybe there's a territory that they could hire one. But I haven't seen the elephants, like the elephant mercenary group, so at the end of this battle, I'm gonna see if anyone's hired any mercs. Pelagia should be hiring mercs because Asphodel will have some trouble hiring actual units at this point in the game. They've spread their turmoil across the land, and it's killing a lot of the population, and population is tied to gold growth, or gold gain. So they should be, if we look at the score graphs, Asphodel should be making like almost no money per turn. I mean, some of their provinces indeed do have Pelagia's domain on them, so there's that going for them, but let's look at these score graphs here. For income, yeah, see this sharp decline. They're like getting half as much income due to the lower population than Pelagia. So Pelagia can indeed spend money on mercenaries. Like, look at this growth at the beginning for Dominion. They were getting so close to winning, but now we are. Wait, hold up. That's 100. That's 200. That's 300. That's 400. Whoa! They were literally like 1 point away from winning. That black bar right here, that's the cutoff for winning. They were fucking Asphodel could have won. We're stuck in this match longer now. Come on, Asphodel. Come on, we're so close to winning. Oh, don't let me suffer this potato match anymore, please. Let me go on to the Aramor versus Marignan fight. I want to see how that one fucking goes. That'll be hopefully a high octane fight. Because of the Priest of Marignan, the really strong cavalry of Marignan, versus the slow-ass hordes of undead of Aramor. I feel like that would be a really fucking cool match. Hopefully it is. I hope I don't jinx it here. We're stuck in this hellhole. This Pelagia match. Not a surprising victory here. This is like, though I don't know. There's a lot of attrition going on with the really strong underwater only units of Pelagia. So it's getting to the point I don't think they can maintain the bodies that are being constantly thrown at them any longer. And I really wish I knew exactly what Puppet Mastery did. I think it's like Unholy Strength or like Protection of the Sepulchre maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but exactly what it does. I love that fucking whip noise, dude. It's so fucking pleasing. We're still under siege. These looks like Independence can't break through. The win conditions, Zal, are 450 Dominion, or if my home province is taken or my god is killed through an assassination, the other faction wins. So if Nin, what is this thing? Ninsinia? Whatever, if this guy dies, Asphodel wins. If I lose this province, Asphodel wins because I'm partnered with Pelagia just by random chance. I basically use Google Flip Coin to decide what side I'm going to be discipled to because I have to spectate the match somehow. And I wanted it to be kind of asymmetrical too, so that maybe some underdog factions can somehow beat some of the more powerful ones. But other than that, the main win condition that both factions have is 450 Dominion. I was trying to do, I was gonna do Thrones of Ascension, but I don't know, it gets to a point in Thrones of Ascension where the AI just refuses to push out. And like I had a test match that went to like turn 20, or year 20 rather, and that's just way too long. And I wasn't even watching matches, I was just ending turn over and over and over again. It went to like year 20. So 450 Dominion game mode to win, I think, is a little bit easier for the AI to do. Victory points can't work because of the way I'm partnered. Total domination is way long, so I think just 450 Dominion. Maybe I can lower it so the matches go a little bit quicker. But right now for Season 1, it is first to get to 450 Dominion, i.e. those candles on the board, wins. But I think it's pretty balanced because we've had games that have ended like in 17 minutes. The Marignan match, Marignan won in like 17 or 16 minutes, just because they kept building temples. So it can go by incredibly quick if one side just refuses to play for whatever reason, and the other faction goes for the win condition right out. Or you can get it to go like maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours. I think the longest one I've had was 2 hours. So like I don't think it can go much longer than that. Maybe, I mean, I don't want to jinx it. Maybe this one has been going longer, I don't know. I lose track of time when I play this game, And I really lose track of time when I'm not even playing it. I'm just streaming and talking because I'm actually having fun, despite me sounding probably at times that I maybe don't sound like I'm having a lot of fun. But I really do enjoy doing this. The time really flies by. I think this is definitely another mercenary group because these Amazons are here. One war elephant. Another. Hey, at least Pelagia is pushing out. Oh, that lovely noise. Oh man, I fucking love it. I don't know how loud it is for you guys, but hearing that elephant go on attack, oh man, it gives me nightmares of the first time I fought against a large unit of elephants, which was the first time I fought against elephants at all. I think I was fighting Bandar Log and they hired the elephant group of mercenaries. And I had my headphones on, you know, I wasn't used to the how loud the game can get. And all of a sudden I hear this noise, like times like a million, and it fucking nearly made me deaf. It was amazing. I love them elephants though. Maybe I overvalue them a little bit, but I don't know, I really do like them. That is a lot of lost souls, or soulless rather. 400 units just in their main province alone. Come on, I'm gonna look at the statistics again. We have to be close. Wait, I thought this was, wait, hold up. This is 100, this is 200, this is 300, that's 400. That should be 450. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just miscounting. Maybe these aren't groups of 50. I'm pretty sure this was the win condition area here. Or maybe, maybe I accidentally set the win condition to something else. Let's actually go see that. Not nation overview. What is it? Pretenders of the world. There's some way to check win condition. And I actually forgot how. Map. Options. I can't. Whatever. We won't know. I'm pretty sure it's set to 450. I'm starting to get worried now. Though, I mean, I could just bust my fort down, and that would be, I don't know, like the karma of Pelagia getting the free buy for me busting my fort down and having independence kill me. Fucking elephant noises. But yeah, I could end it right now. I don't think any Pelagia fans, because obviously there's not a whole lot of people watching this right now. I really appreciate you watching this, Zal. But I'm saying Pelagia fans as in talking to possible future people watching these videos. But I don't think anyone would be upset to see me sabotage Pelagia here, because I basically sabotaged their opponent in the previous round. I set precedent. I can indeed decide to handicap one faction or the other by destroying my fortress, if I so choose. But Asphodel has this victory. I just feel like we're gonna be in this like never-ending loop of them attacking provinces and then taking them and then moving their units out the next turn and then having the other faction move their units in and kill the militia. But on this like war of never-ending attrition, never-ending winter of death, Asphodel clearly has the advantage. They should take this territory no problem at this point. It's completely cut off. Like, look, they have 260 units in their main province. Like, they could start pushing out. Like, they have to be aggressive here. Like, it would be like the death throes of a dying nation, but they need to do that. Otherwise, like, they can't win here. Like, they can't. It's impossible for them to win if they just turtle with their main forces. Wait, what? Why? Why? Why are you making this assault? Do you have like stealth? You do. Okay, so maybe he was caught. This guy had stealth. We're gonna assume the AI didn't decide to just pull out an attack out of nowhere. We're gonna assume that he was a spy, because the AI is smart enough on medium to put spies in territories. And it seems like a relatively large force, so they would have found him. Like, there's definitely more than 40 people here. And they're attacking the Unforgiver again. That is a lot of fucking sea serpents, though. These mannequins stand 0 chance. I don't think they're gonna even do any damage. It might have maybe killed one, of the knights, but yeah, it's like no damage at all. It's 0. We can only assume that Asphodel has taken all of these territories by now. I don't know why they haven't moved in on some of these neutrals. Whoa, hold up. They split their force. So they're going on the offensive here. There's 120 units here. Looks like they're eyeing the Unforgiver again. Despite, they should have just been moving their main forces because half of these troops here are only aquatic. The AI should know this, and they should be pushing towards the neutrals. So they can have more territory, so they can build. I don't even think they're building any cathedrals. They have the ability to, but I haven't seen a single chapel or cathedral built by Asphodel. Once again, the very just completely haphazard placement of vine people, with the elephants trapped within a wall. The type of AI they're on is also random. I wanted to keep randomness to the highest level possible, Zhao. So they won't necessarily have the same AI personality every run. So that's another thing that possibly allows the less strong nations or the gods that I didn't optimize 100% because I don't play those factions. It allows them to have a chance to come out over the top tier ones. And I think this entire series, though, is also really cool. It allows me to, tier, at least the medium AI's ability of playing the game, tier the factions in strength right now. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it. Right now, Man has won, I think, both of their matches. So the Kingdom of Man, so far, is the strongest nation for medium AI random personality to play. I feel like we've been in a time loop for the last 40 minutes or whatever it's been, because this is the exact same amount of provinces of Water Province Pelagia has had since 40 minutes ago, and it's just been back and forth, back and forth. I think we're definitely approaching the end of it, though. Pelagia has lost almost every bit of their land presence, and even though a lot of the land tiles were taken over by independents, it still is in a situation where Asphodel is going to be given free reign to just spread their dominion. They should have, I'm going to be honest, Asphodel should have won maybe 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago. But somehow they haven't won. They haven't won yet. And those independents have been sieging my capital for 2 in-game years or something like that. And they still haven't broken through. The walls of Arcocephalae are just too strong. Oh my god. I was gonna say, if that one Minotaur was able to rout those forces, that would have been insane. Alright. There's a special event. Special event. Something with glamour. Oh, it's got a freaking god here. And that was instantaneous. I didn't even get to see who they were fighting. They immediately lost it. It was an assassination attempt, I think. I feel like maybe I'm gonna take a bet here. I'm gonna have 4 to 5 turns is my bet for the victory of Asphodel here. I'll say 5 to be conservative. So this is turn 1. This is more of not of a guess, more of a hope that it ends. This is not. I mean, this is an interesting fight that could be happening here, but this is the only places that these interesting fights can occur for Pelagia at this point. They only have these aquatic forces, and we have to basically just hope that Asphodel shoots a huge force. We need a 300 army Asphodel force versus this 200 some army. Maybe it's less than that. It's just really high value with all of these Knights of the Deep. I think the main issue here is that I almost called them Pangea. Jesus. Pelagia has been investing way too many of their points into aquatic only units. Pretty sure they can't actually normally get sea serpents. I'm pretty sure the sea serpents are from the magic summon of sea serpents. So I don't understand why they're going so heavily into only aquatic units when they have the ability to summon aquatic units to begin with. Okay, so that was one turn. This is the second turn. They still can't harm our walls. Archocephaly, I guess, will never fall. Pelagia's assault here against a very weakly defended province, but it's got some mannequins, some mandragoras. I believe these are mandragoras. Mannequin, yeah, mandragora. Yeah, they won't be able to do this. They have some Amazons, but it's not enough. Like, it's ridiculous how actually strong mannequins and like vinemen in general are. You would expect them to be really weak, but they actually really hit hard, hit like trucks, and are really resilient. So we have luck 1 and growth 1. That actually benefits both factions to some degree, because they both have negative luck, so they can benefit from that. We did it. Okay, I was wrong. That was the third. I think that was the third turn end. Oh, thank God. Lyduk has ascended. All right, let's watch the last battle. Let's make it a good battle. Make it a good battle. It's a lot of independent people. So maybe I'm pretty sure these are the independents. So will the independents kill off the last remaining hope of Pelagia? It looks like it. The independents had enough. Maybe I'm the manifestation of the independents in this. And it looks like that. Oh, wait, never mind. Whoa! I misjudged that completely. I thought, a good job on my Pelagia using a bunch of just militiamen. That's crazy. And I saw a Pegasus, so I was assuming, because I've only saw Pegasus on Pelagia. But anyway, rejoice! Rejoice, Zalreth, rejoice! A true god has ascended. Lyduk, or Lyduk, however you say his name. Father of gods, god of invincible power. King of the dead, god of untimely death, terror of the tomb, and the greatest goddamn demi-lich there's ever been, great ruler of Asphodel, has led his people to victory. In all the temples of this world, hymns are sung to Lyduk's glory. Glory, offerings are made to the great god of all. This world is now at peace, one being reigns supreme, and has banished the false pretenders to places of darkness and eternal suffering. So there you have it. There you have it, everyone. There you have it, Zalreth. We have a victor. I'm not entirely surprised at the outcome here. So it seems like you have to get past the black area. So like the black bar here is the top of it is 450. So once you pass this, that is the victory bar. So I need to like burn that into my skull so that I know in the future. But yeah, this army size, like even though they kept losing units, turn after turn after turn against Pelagia's underwater supremacy here, it's still not enough. They still had at this point, they had 3 times still the amount of units. Obviously Dominion they won. At the end it looked like Pelagia was getting more research, though it didn't seem to really come into play. Gems don't really matter too much. In income, Pelagia was really starting to struggle as they lost all those provinces, and the Dominion of Asphodel was starting to push into their own territories. But there you have it, everyone. There you have it. That is the second round of this upper bracket, round 2, and it looks like, without a shadow of a doubt, we have Lyduk as victor. So let me move some windows around here and try to find if I have the bracket on my desktop, and it doesn't look like I do, so I have to, I know, incredibly professional. I need to go digging through my stream folder to find the bracket here. Alright, so it looks like our next round is indeed Marignan versus Airmore. This is the match that I've been looking forward to. Both of these factions I value incredibly high. I would say they're both top tier factions. or at least my own personal experience with them, and they seem to be direct counters to each other, or rather, Marignan is a real strong counter to Airmore, and I value Airmore slightly higher, so I think it's going to be a great match. It should be high-octane excitement, at least for me, but after that, we have Abyssia versus Pangea, and then for the next set of, so round 3 of upper bracket, it's going to be Man versus Asphodel. I think Man's going to come out on top against Asphodel. Man's really aggressive with the early game military, or at least even if they don't have the like personality type for aggressive early expansion, their units are strong enough to just like make really good trades early on. So I think I value Man over that. But what we could have is if things go right, we could have Asphodel versus Pangea, the living Greek myth versus the dead Greek myth. That would be quite interesting to say the least. But I am going to cut the stream off right here, fam. I need to take a little break. I need to get some food and some water. I might be streaming a little bit later, Zao. I can't guarantee it. But if I start streaming and you're not here, man, just check the VODs. I'm gonna be putting them on my YouTube and they'll be on Twitch as well. I will catch you guys later.